What's up, YouTube? Jake Marchand here, and I wanted to talk to you guys a moment about, once again, the Michelin CrossClimate2s. And I want to have a conversation about something that just keeps popping up in all the reviews I do, whether that be the problems I have with these tires, or the things I love about these tires, or my review after 10,000 miles, or the durability after 20,000 miles. I love answering my comments, and there's something that always pops up. If you watch any of my videos, you know I love these tires. I love them to death, and they are just head and shoulders above any other tire I've ever bought. Like, I didn't think that tires had that much technology in them. I thought they were just, you know, you take rubber and make a round circle. You know, who cares about buying a set of Michelins or buying a set of, you know, Goodyears or something good? I mean, but then, you know, after buying these tires and studying them up a little bit and getting to actually see what they offer, I realized, like, man, these are the best tires I've ever seen in my entire life. Just hands down. So you already know I love these things. And I really had to fish to find some problems. Like I told y'all just a minute ago, I've done a video about the things I don't care for about these tires, and it's few and far between, but you can find them if you look. Every single time in these videos, every single time, about half of the time, I'm talking about the traction, the grip on these tires. These are the grippiest, safest tires on the market, hands down, bar none. Even safer than big old truck tires that I usually drive in my trucks. And why I'm trying to tell you this is because, like, if for you, maybe you're thinking about buying yourself a pair, but maybe even more important, you're thinking about buying a pair for somebody you love, like your daughter or your son or your wife potentially, or somebody, you know. So this could be potentially like a big deal, you know. Price may not be an issue, you know, longevity may not be an issue, but one issue is keeping your daughter safe because you just sent her to college, or keeping your wife safe as she drives to work in the morning, or, you know, keeping yourself safe because a lot of people depend on you. And there's certain things about this tire that you really just can't put a value on, and one is like the traction, the grip on these tires. Now, I'm not going to get too technical with you. I could talk about rolling resistance and stopping resistance, and I could talk about the contact patch, you know, or I could talk about the tread pattern, the directional tread pattern, and how when it cuts through water, it's got a V shape, and it's like beveled on the edge of the tire, so it shoots the water out of the side. But there's tons of videos you can look at if you really want to figure out engineering about tires. You can figure out about the bands and all that other stuff. I just want to go ahead and, like, have a little conversation with you and just, like, let you know, like, how I feel about these tires. When I first got them, I really didn't even mean to get these tires. I walked in and I said, hey, I want a set of Michelins. And the person told me, hey, we have one set available and they're in the warehouse and we can have them here in an hour and a half. I told them, send them to me. The reason there's so few available for me, and the reason they were so expensive, about $1,300 for me, is because my vehicle has 19-inch rims. I have a 2019 Mazda CX-5, front wheel drive, no turbo, nothing like that, and it's got 19-inch rims on the Grand Touring Limited package. And, you know, like, once you jump into 19 rims, it's kind of harder to find a set. So I really just got the one and only set that was available to me anywhere, because my mom and my dad and my sister all got a set of Michelins and they loved them. So I decided I was going to jump on the gravy train. Little did I think I would be Instagramming these tires, that I would be, you know, throwing them on my stories and getting likes and doing reviews about them. Like, when I first drove them, and specifically when I first drove them through the rain, I was sold. I was absolutely sold. So like I said, when I first, we can talk about first on the dry, just in dry, you know, standard conditions. When, you know, my car came with some Toyos on it, T-O-Y-O, Toyo, not sure how you pronounce that. And they worked great. You know, they are how you'd expect it. I mean, when they were brand new, they were grippy. After about 5 to 10,000 miles, they lost, you know, 50% of their grip, and I just ran them till they went flat. And that took about 47,000 miles, and I didn't really, you know, like I said, towards the end of it, I probably should have changed them a long time before, because there's certain little instances that even in the dry that I would notice they would slip. For example, if I was going up a hill and I was parked at a stop sign and I had to kind of floor it to get out into the intersection going up the hill, a lot of times they would slip. Or when I'm getting off the intersection, you go up the off ramp and then you stop at the stoplight. A lot of times when I'm going to my house, I have to turn left and my tires would skid, you know, right when I would press the acceleration. And just for anybody that had this comment before, I'm going in the right lane. It's a 4-lane highway. There's people in front of me, and everybody's got plenty of opportunity to pass. So if you got any problems with my driving, throw it in the comments, baby. I'd love to respond. But anywho, where was I? Yeah, so I had these tires, like when you would have these certain instances with the Toyos that they would always slip. And when I got these tires on, I really would kind of scratch my head and be like, huh, this is weird. I'm not slipping at the stop sign anymore. Or I don't even think I can make these things slip. And this was extremely pronounced in the rain. And I'm thinking about this one specific situation. Like I said, when I get off the interstate to go to my house, you go up the off ramp and then you have to wait at the light and turn left. And it's pretty slick up there because probably all the interstate people and the oil dripping out of their vehicles and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, I noticed the traction just immediately, just in like performance. You know, I kind of wanted to test it out and see, hey, can I jump in between cars or can I floor it and make it spin? But I really didn't, to be honest with you. So like, I haven't rally car tested the tires in the dry, but I'm telling you what, they won't skid. Like, there's no situation where you slam on the accelerator and then it skids any direction, up a hill, turning on a corner, flat ground. It just doesn't skid anymore. But it's really more pronounced in the rain. So for example, I'm beating this situation up, but like I said, when I get off of my exit onto the on-ramp, onto the off-ramp, we're going up a hill, I don't know, 10%, 15% grade, not much, maybe less than 10%. And you stop the light and you turn left. If it's raining, you're gonna slip every single time, especially if your front tire's sitting on that little white painted strip, that painted line, you're gonna slip. You're just gonna slip. It depends on if you're in a hurry. You're probably gonna spin your tires a little bit, and traction control is gonna catch them. But yeah, like I said, or in specific, like if you're in the rain, you're at a stop sign, you pull up the stop sign and everybody's going, you just kind of got to get through that stop sign because traffic's flowing, your tires will slip a little bit. You just find these different areas. I've never been a dangerous driver, to be honest with you. I'm probably the guy you hate. A lot of times I'll be going like 65 into 70 and I'll just stay in the right lane because I don't want to tear my car up. So I'm that slow grandpa on the interstate that you probably don't like. So I'm pretty easy on my vehicle. I never have like I'm turning too fast and I feel a slip in the rain, or I'm going too fast, I ran up on someone and slammed on brakes and the tire slid. I'm pretty chill. The only thing I really experience is like, you people with bald tires know exactly what I'm talking about. Just the loss of traction when you're pulling out of a parking spot, or the loss of traction when you're trying to jump jump ahead at a stop sign or something. So you don't have any of that with these in the wet. But the real point, this is the shining star, is what I want to talk to you guys about, is when you're driving through the rain or in the monsoons. I have driven these tires. I was lucky enough 3 or 4 months ago to drive these tires through a hurricane and I think a tropical storm. I don't think there was 2 tropical storms. I think it was just one. But I was driving, so I live in Birmingham, Alabama, and my parents live in Mobile. It's about 300 miles south, and I make the trek south probably every other week, just to visit my parents, or sometimes every couple of months, but I try to, stay in touch with them. And for business reasons, I'm always driving. And I've gotten caught in a couple hurricanes on like a Sunday, or tropical storms on a Sunday, that I just had to drive through. And I'm telling you, this is where you want to buy these for your daughter or your son or your wife or for yourself. These things these are the safest, grippiest tires on the market. You can't lose traction in these. I've had situations where it's been almost whiteout rain conditions, and I'm sorry, at least I'm testing this and not your loved ones are. And there's been people who have their emergency flashers on, they're going like 35 or 40 and a 60, everybody's on the right lane, and I'm in the fast lane going 70, just peeling past everybody, feeling as safe as I possibly can. Like I said, I've gotten to the point to where I've been going so fast I had to slow down because the windshield started whiting out. I've driven through a tropical storm, no telling how bad a rain. You can't underestimate how the traction you have with these tires. It's just absurd. It's bizarre. So like, I've been driving on the interstate and you go down low spots and I won't notice it on accident, going 70 and run through a puddle, and it slices right through it. I've been going, like I said, where it's almost whiteout conditions and the actual interstate had like sitting water on it. It was raining so hard and I just sliced right through it. It's a different feel. If you used to ride bicycles as a kid, you know, and you would hit a puddle. You remember how that tire would just like slice through that puddle, and you would have like the water shooting out to the edge, kind of like a boat wake or something like that. That's what these tires do. They're, how do you say, they have something called a round contact patch, which, you know, tires, the part that touches the ground can be flat, or it can be slightly, I guess it'd be like a slightly curved on the edges. Flatter is usually better, but in these particular instances, the tread pattern is like in the shape of a V. So when it hits water, it pushes the water out to the edges of the tire, but also it has rounded contact patches at the end. It has a rounded edge at the end of the contact, at the edge of the contact patch. So water, when you drive over water, it's instantly just thrusted, propelled, shot to the outside of the tire, and the tire like cuts through the water and stays on track. It's very strange. And I'm not a dangerous driver, but I've done a lot of warning in the comments when I'm talking to people and saying, like, be careful the first 2 weeks, because like when you get these tires, you're gonna realize, like on accident, how great of traction they had in the rain, and then you're gonna go purposely looking for mud puddles to hit to see, oh man, this is strange, can I hit a mud puddle at 40? And you're gonna hit a little puddle at 30 and say, wow, I didn't feel it. You're gonna try and find one at 40 and try and find one on the interstate next. And what ends up happening is the first 2 weeks, it's kind of like getting the first 2 weeks of having a motorcycle, of your first dirt bike or something, you know, your first bicycle. You're gonna ramp it a lot, you know. You gotta be careful in the first 2 weeks you get these, because they give you this, I wouldn't say a false sense of security, but a sense of security that probably exceeds your driving expertise. You know, we're not Travis Pastrana. We're definitely not Travis Pastrana, and we don't want to, you know, rally race with these things, but you kind of can't help it because the grip is so ridiculous. If I had somebody, if I had children or somebody like that, or had to put a new set of tires on for a vehicle somebody I loved, and price wasn't the issue, the issue was getting them safely to a destination, getting them safely back, I wouldn't hesitate to buy a set of these, just because that's what they provide. At a premium price, for a little bit less fuel mileage, that's a little bit louder in the cab, and a few other dislikes, but at the end of the day, like, cost a decent amount, but like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The money doesn't even matter about this. They're just so ridiculously grippy. And there's one other medium that I don't get to drive through much because I am in Alabama. You can see it's February and 71 degrees, you know, so it gets down in the 30s and every now and again, 20s and stuff, but, you know, it stays pretty hot, so I don't have to worry too much about that winter snow. But I did get to test them about a month ago, 3 weeks to a month ago, in North Carolina. I took a vacation up to North Carolina on the East Coast, like on the beaches, and I went all the way to the West Coast through the Smokies, all the way to Asheville, and spent a couple days in Asheville with my doggy. I got to see some snow, got to see tons of snow, snow on the road, snow in all the parking lots everywhere I was driving. Like, I'd pull up to the lodge I was staying at, and it'd be like, you're trying to wonder, where do you park, because there's so much snow. All the state parks and stuff were shut down because there was so much snow, but I still found a ways to creep around in some pretty areas. And I really got to test them out in the snow, and it wasn't like the area was being plowed. I don't know enough about snow to really tell. I've seen a lot in the comments, people will talk about, like, oh, if it's nice and plowed, you can get around with these tires. But I also had another guy in freaking Norway telling me it was negative 30 degrees Celsius, and he was shooting up through the mountains hitting snow drifts. So, like, I've had various comments from people, like, using their car like a snow plow and, like, getting overconfident and getting stuck in a drift for the first time in their life because they had these tires and they were testing them out. But I've also had other people tell me they were in Norway and they were literally snow plowing through big snow drifts, and it got them through it. And then you have somebody like me who drove through ice and snow and a lot of slushy ice, and never had any problems. Now, I've used snow chains before, like in like Tahoe, or it's in Seattle, the big mountain, Mount Rainier. I've used snow chains in Mount Rainier before, because, you know, the snow gets like 20 feet deep there when you go up top. You really can't go anywhere without your chains. But I don't have a big history with it, and like with these, I didn't even consider chains. It was never even an idea. It worked great in the snow. So if you're like this is another added safety to somebody, like if you're in Florida or Alabama or in the Southeast or Texas or somewhere that doesn't see snow. You know, when people like that people like us encounter snow, we have a huge tendency to wipe our car out or get in an accident or a lot of things like that, you know, because we're not used to it. And to have a tire that is like triple peak snow rated for people like us is phenomenal. Like, you can imagine me, country bumpkin from Alabama, driving up to North Carolina and wrecking my car out because I've never driven on snow before. But if you got a set of these on here, I mean, you're literally, it's like you got to added safety. You know, you got to added protection for your car. You can look in the comments of some of the videos, like the problems videos or the durability videos or the, you know, 10,000 mile review videos. And you can kind of see some of the comments of people like testifying, giving their own testimonials to like how the traction in the snow is. But for me, it's phenomenal. It's another added layer of safety to keep me safe. All in all, I've driven them through the Smokies, through the snow, through the slush, through the ice. I've driven them through the quote-unquote monsoons, through I think 1 or 2 tropical storms and at least 1 hurricane. Driven them through just hellish rain and just the everyday driving average. Like today, beautiful day out, the driving experience is phenomenal, as it always is. Fantastic grip. I've had people ask me before, like, would these be good on like these Lexus sort of like race car, you know, these Lexus sports cars, or do you think it would be good on my Subaru WRX? Or I'm trying to think, I have these people ask, not on their Corvette, but they ask, do you think these tires would be good on their sports car? I think they probably would be pretty sick, although that's not what they're for. And I've also had people in their Subarus thinking, do you think these would be good mud riding tires? Which I didn't know Subaru people mud rode. I know they go out trail riding a lot, but I've never seen a Subaru when I've been sinking my F-150. So, but yeah, I told them probably. They're like aggressive tractor tires. I mean, I can't imagine how just a regular street tire would be any good in the mud. And to prove that, everybody gets stuck when they go into mud. But like these, there's an actual grip on it, so I can't imagine how they'd be worse. They would just have to be superior. And they almost look like they'd be built for like a Subaru WRX, you know, going on a trail or something, or whatever the Subarus are. So I can see a lot of uses for these. Like, I can't really see them as performance tires, because like I'd rather have more contact area with the road rather than snow rating if I had a Corvette. But I could definitely see them as phenomenal off-road tires, although that's probably not what they're built for. But just for everyday drivers and for people who drive a lot and for people who are just concerned with safety, these are phenomenal tires. If you stuck with me this long, you may as well give me a like and subscribe, because who would stick with me this long? But that's about kind of my ideas on the tires. I just wanted to have a conversation with you about this rather than, you know, give you a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullet point list of like a review, because this is just something that I've talked with so many people about who have the tires, or in the comments, or just friends of mine who are interested in you know, things like tires, you know. And I've just talked to him since the grip is phenomenal. The grip is phenomenal. It's like I'm driving tractor. It's like I have tractor tires. It's like having a snowmobile in the snow compared to a car. I've told people, you know, it's like your bicycle when you're going through a puddle. It's like when you're driving those scooters in the city. You rent those little rental scooters and you cut through water. It's like, it's the best, it's the grippiest, it is the grippiest tire on the market. And I would have to say by default, the safest. So there you go. I just want to have a conversation with you about this, and feel free to comment and let me know what you think. I would love to, you know, wrap up anything that I didn't quite cover, either in the dry land or in the wet or in the monsoons or in the snow. So yeah, like I said, let me know, and I'd love to talk back to you. It's I had fun making this video, and I appreciate you staying there with me. Once again, my name's Jake, and thank you, YouTube, for watching. Let me know, and I'd love to bring you more content, and we'll talk to you shortly. Bye-bye.